This lesson will take us through how we can build themes and also outline the differences between style themes and non-style themes. So to start off, let's create a new file in our theme folder, and I'll call it colors.json. And in order to tell Opus that this file was dedicated to styling specifically, I can add a new theme config object. And this accepts two keys. First one is called isFunctionTheme, and the second one is called isStyleTheme. So as this is dedicated to styling, I'm going to set isStyleTheme to true. On the other hand, if this wasn't dedicated to styling, if it was used specifically for defining functions and their arguments, I would set isFunctionTheme to true and isStyleTheme to false. But we'll leave this as true for now. So next I can start defining key value pairs that define the colors that I want to apply throughout my metadata. So I'm just going to add one called primary, and I'm going to set the value of that to yellow. And I've got some others here which I'll paste in. So note that each value here is injected as we write them, as we define them here. And in this case, because we've got a colors theme file, we've got different key value pairs, and the values are actual CSS values. So we've got a mix of RGB, hex, and standard colors. Aside from these, we can also inherit from other themes. So I can either inherit from a key inside of the same theme, or I can also inherit from the theme elsewhere. So a good example of inheriting from another theme file would be to create a new one. And I should supply a theme config object. And I'm going to say that I'm going to add a new color. I'll just call this another color, and it should be red. So now, if I want to inherit from red, from the color red, I can either create a new entry or I can modify an existing one. So if I create a new one, I could just say some red color. And that inherits from theme.colorsB another color. So if I were to use this key here, some red color, inside of my metadata, I would reference it by saying theme.colors.some red color. That would see that the value of that is inherited from colorsB.another color. So it will reach out, and then it will find red, it will inject it in here, and then in the same way it would inject some red colour into wherever we place it in our metadata. But we discussed how theme values are injected inside of the injecting theme values in components section. In the same way, if I were to just remove colorsB, if I didn't want this, and I just wanted to use one theme, I could also say that some red color, if I were to change this to red, can inherit from theme.colors.primary. So now we know how to inherit themes and how to define themes or build themes. We can add them to our dashboard index file, and to do that we'd add it inside of the themes array here, so Opus knows that it needs to load the theme. Just as a side note, if I had colorsB here still, the order in which I define it doesn't matter, so I could switch it around and it would still load it as normal. There wouldn't be any issues there. And in the same way, if I took this primary key here and switched it around so it's defined after some red colour, this would still work. Okay, so now we've defined, well, now we've added the entry inside of our themes array. We can see it in action. So I'll show you just a test component. Got a box here, a height and width, and I will say that the background color, this is invalid, but the background color should be inherited from some red color. So theme.colors.some red color, and if I refresh this, there we go. So we've got a background color. This comes from our colors theme file under the key some red color. If we go to that, we'll see that some red color references or is inherited from this theme file under the key primary. Same thing applies to our global files or our sizing. So it's not limited to colors. We could also, if we had another file called global, I could supply a theme config object, and I could say that my box height should be 150 pixels. And my box width, if I wanted to, I could just make this 150, the actual number. So now I'm going to demonstrate how we can mix these together. First of all, I need to make sure this is added. So if I instead want the height of this to be my box height, I would reference this by saying, or I would inject this by saying theme.global.box height, which would directly inject this as it is, 150 pixels. And if I want the box width to be my box width here, I would need to manually add the px myself. So I can say theme.global, but I would also need to add px on the end. So it injects the 150 and adds the px on the end of that. And there we go.